Hi, it's Kathy, dietitian at Highland Primary Care in Airdrie. And we thought since it's been a stressful time for everyone, that we would give a bite-sized piece of our Slice of Happiness class. So we have a long happiness class that's 4 weeks long. And then we do a one week slice of happiness. And now we're just giving you bite-sized pieces of slice of happiness. So some skills from our classes and hope that they might help people cope with all the things that are going on right now. So in happiness class, we talk about this, how much happiness is under our control. And we ask people like, how much do you think is due to your genes? And how much do you think is under your personal control? And how much do you think is circumstance? And people almost always believe that that circumstance has a big impact over their happiness. But truth be told, only 10% of our happiness is because of our circumstances, and 40% of our happiness is under our personal control. So that's a really big portion of our happiness that we have control over, and that's the portion we want to try to get at and improve. I just like this quote, and it kind of sets the stage to talk a little bit about mindfulness. So plenty of people miss their share of happiness, not because they never found it, but because they didn't stop to enjoy it. So yeah, we'll talk about a little bit about mindfulness, but keep that quote in mind as we go on. So if you never heard of mindfulness before, really simply put, it's just paying attention on purpose. And I love this little graphic, and I like that the small person is the one who's keeping her mind right in the present moment. And it happens to be the adult person who looks like his mind is at work. And that's just, it just kind of depicts what sometimes we can be so busy up in our heads that we can miss all the great things that are right in front of us. That is what the human brain tends to do. It tends to be either in the past. And if that brings you happy memories and a smile to your face, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's fantastic. But if you find you're in the past and you're trying to undo something, or you wish it didn't happen like that, and what if it would have happened this way instead, you're just making that up. It's all done. That's just a film strip. So and thoughts like that tend people to be sad or even into depression. So, and the other thing the human mind tends to do is forecast forward. And I don't know why we do this, but we tend to forecast the worst possible circumstances, the worst possible outcome from our certain circumstances. And that obviously makes us very fearful and full of anxiety. And again, it's just like a film strip playing in our mind. We have absolutely no idea what's going to happen tomorrow or the next day. So we're just making it all up. So mindfulness is the opposite of that. It's just paying attention on purpose to what's right in front of us, and really kind of enjoying what's right in this moment. So I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Jon Kabat-Zinn, because he's kind of credited with bringing mindfulness to the Western world and giving it lots of rigor and scientific evidence to back it up. So his definition of mindfulness is it means that it's paying attention in a particular way on purpose in the present moment without judgment. So just to expand on that a little bit, we already sort of talked about that awareness and observation and being in the moment, being mindful of your environment. And that non-judgment piece, letting go and acceptance, is also really key with mindfulness. And I find that's where people get stuck sometimes with resisting, like say they've suffered a big loss of some kind, loss of a job, loss of a partner, either through divorce or death or something like that, something that's really hard to cope with. We get stuck when we're resistant to it, when we wish, and we play in our heads, like, what if it didn't happen this way? And what if I did this? And what if they did this? But when we start to, I think the first step in healing is just to recognize it is what it is. And we need to go somewhere from here. So moving forward from it now. So that acceptance piece. Also letting go of trying to control everything. So knowing that everything that happens outside of me, I have no control over. I don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow. And I have no need to control it, because I trust my inner resilience and strength, and I trust your inner resilience and strength is going to get us through what we need to get through as it comes up. And non-judgment, just generally speaking, is so good to remind people with the non-judgment piece, because when we start any mindfulness activity, it tends to be the first thing people do. They say, I can't stop my mind, and I'm just not good at this, and I can't do it. That's judgment. And we want to try to avoid that. We just kind of want to notice what our brains do. And if they wander, that's okay. We just notice that they wander, and we say, oh, there we go, silly brain, and we bring it back to what we're doing. So trying to let some of that judgment go and just notice. So pretend that you're your own best friend standing outside yourself, just kind of noticing what you do. And then if you need a gentle reminder to get back on task, then that's what a friend would do. So let's be our own best friends. So I'm going to teach you a really simple way to just be more mindful, and it's called grounding, a grounding technique. You can do this while you're sitting, or you can do it while you're moving outside. So if you are the kind of person who has a little bit more trouble sitting still, know that mindfulness techniques, there's all different kinds. So that would be the one thing I just say, encourage you to explore and keep an open mind. If you don't like this particular one, there are thousands of different ways to bring mindfulness into your life. And you just need to find one that works for you. So, but yeah, keep an open mind. And it's really simple. And that's something that people say is sometimes these things seem too simple. How can they possibly help? But sometimes simple things do work. So give it a try and see how it works for you. So grounding is really simple. And if you are out practicing this and you get them in the wrong order, or you do the wrong numbers, none of that really matters. So nothing to worry about there. But sometimes when you practice something, then it can be ready and available for you if you need it. So it's simple, 5 things that we see. So just looking around us, whether we're inside or outside, and what do we see, and looking beyond kind of what's right in front of us. So say if we usually notice a tree, maybe we notice all the activity that's in the tree, like there's lots of birds in the tree. Maybe we look, instead of just noticing the grass, maybe we look a little further at all the critters in the grass, that kind of thing. Maybe just instead of seeing, the stormwater pond, that we see some of the ducks and geese, and maybe even the babies that are around there, or anything that's out and about beyond. And if you can stretch your eyes to see just a little farther beyond what you normally see, and you'll be surprised what treasures are there. So 5 things we see, and then 4 things that you can feel. And this can be really simple, like the wind on your face, clothes on your skin. If you're sitting somewhere, then obviously the surface you're sitting on, or maybe you feel the ground under your feet. Just things that you feel. Generally, like I said, the wind on your face, or just being outside. How does the air temperature feel on your skin? Then 3 things that you hear. So, and again, stretch your ears, because we miss things in our hearing all the time. And sometimes it's nice just to even close off your eyes for a second and see if you can stretch your ears a little farther. So when we have too much stimulus going on, it's nice to maybe just shut down one if we can safely, and stretch our ears and see what we can hear. And then just 2 things we can smell. So if we're outside, do we smell grass or trees or flowers? If we're inside, maybe there's some cooking scents in the air, or coffee, anything like that we smell, food that we're eating. And then 1 thing that we can taste. So just take a feel around the mouth and see, maybe there's some lingering coffee or tea, or toothpaste, just 1 thing that you can taste. So that's really it. And you can do it as many times as you like. People find that when they're feeling anxious, it's just something that brings them right to the present. So instead of being in that future in the film strip that they're just making up and feeling more and more anxious about it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So 5 things we see, 4 things we touch, 3 things we hear, 2 things we smell, and 1 thing we taste. And they can go through that as many times as they like. And if they don't get it in the right order, that doesn't matter. None of it matters. If you find your mind wanders when you're doing this and you get off track, that's okay too. Just, that's what the mind does. The mind's job is to calculate, and it likes to be busy, and it likes to be in charge. So it likes to hijack us sometimes. And we just remind it, we say, oh, silly mind. And we get back to where we were when we went off track. It's kind of interesting just to notice where your mind does go off track and what it starts to think about. And when it starts to think about things, are they things that serve you or not so much? And we do have the power to choose which thoughts we're going to follow and which ones we're not going to, once we have awareness of what's going on up there. So yeah, so that's grounding in a nutshell. You can do it as many times as you like to make you feel calm, and have fun with it. If you do it kind of regularly, that's the, oh, did you know? So did you know practicing mindfulness positively impacts your health? So benefits include lower stress, reduced experience of pain, better emotional regulation, so just better able to, you know, regulate the internal seas of what's going on emotionally, reduce depression, and better sleep. So that's a really small, 3-minute investment into some of these things that can really positively influence my health and my life. So hopefully those are worth your while in trying this little technique too. So yeah, how do we make it a habit? I do encourage you to practice it regularly. I know it seems so small, it seems like it won't help, but truly, some of these really small mindfulness techniques, like grounding and the breathing, meditation, and even some of the more like gratitude and random acts of kindness. Some of these things that seem too good, too small to do any impact actually change where our brain lights up on MRI. We actually start lighting up more of the frontal cortex, the wise old owl of the brain. So that's really neat. So it does really make an impact. So if you can establish, a time, so some people like morning or night because it just seems like a good time to put them in there. If you're somebody who walks regularly, then maybe you put it in there because you want to link it with something you're already doing. That's fantastic. Yeah, or maybe you do it when you have your morning coffee. If you're always going to have your morning coffee, or then do that. So yeah, and it just shows, I think we start to pull out all kinds of things we never noticed before, how good the shower feels on our skin and that kind of stuff, how nice the shampoo smells when we're having a shower, that kind of thing that we just miss, those little everyday ordinary miracles that happen, that we can miss if we're not paying attention to them. So yeah, and I would say training our mind is like training a puppy, and we don't just show them a trick one time and treat them, and then we never do it again, because obviously we're not going to train them. So same with human brain. And the thing I would caution you against is saying, oh, my mind's too busy, I can't do this. And I'm just going to tell you that almost everybody feels that exact same way when they start doing mindfulness practices. Our mind is busy. Like I said, that's what the mind likes to do. The mind likes to be in charge, and it likes to calculate, and it likes to, problem solve. So sometimes it invents problems so that it has things to solve. But we do have control over our minds and where it spends time, and which choices we would like to follow and which ones we want to let go. So again, it's just, but we do wear ruts in our brain, but that's not impossible. We just, through practice and training, just like training a puppy, we can train it to do something different and make a new neural pathway. We do have that capacity for sure. The brain is malleable and amazing. So that's it. Just wanted to show you grounding today. I hope you liked it. I hope you give it a try. And you can do it, like I said, sitting at home quietly, or when you're out and about. Maybe try it both ways and see what you like better. Know that if you like this technique and you had questions about it, or you wonder about how it works for you, that you have your medical home team. So as long as you doctor from Airdrie out to Didsbury, you are in the Highland Primary Care Network, and your doctor has a nurse and a social worker attached right in your medical home. So you can phone up your doctor's office and make an appointment with them. We do have our webpage, which is www.hpcn.ca, and it will link you to our health improvement program, and all the YouTube channel and handouts and PowerPoint presentations and everything that we have to offer is on there. And we also do have a Facebook page, so Highland Primary Care Network, all typed out. And yeah, and definitely connect with the team in your medical home if you'd like some more information on this, or we will be having, I think, 3 more videos with our bite-sized pieces of Slice of Happiness for you. So be sure to check those out and take good care, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.